Alrighty. It's good to be back, man. The Bahamas was a hell of a time, let me tell you that. But it's good to be back in studio. Today we have joined with us Sophia Blackburn, former Grand Rapids Griffins intern, knows a lot about hockey, knows a lot about the game, is going to give us some interesting takes on the Grand Rapids Griffins and the future of the Detroit Red Wings. But to start off the show, I have a hot take, guys.
Of course.
The Detroit Red Wings are going to win one more game in the rest of the season.
I love hearing that.
Yep. And away we go.
Go Leafs, baby.
God.
All right, this guy needs to stop. But all right, so legitimately, everyone, what should we expect from this team going forward? I mean, this last handful of games, we've won some, we've lost some. We had a bad game last night that everyone thought we played decent in. All the national media said we played okay. What do you guys expect from this Wings team going forward? We brought up a lot of the AHL guys to the team. What are your guys' expectations?
Do you want my honest answer or the legitimate answer?
Give me your honest answer, please.
You guys need to do a lot better at playing sound hockey. I mean, we've said this the whole year. The fundamentals are not there. I mean, yes, you have a new coach, but logistically, I mean, you guys are trying to play too cute. I mean, you look at teams in all other sports, playing sound fundamental sports is what you win games. I mean, yeah, it's nice having a flashy player here and there to make things better, but if you're still playing fundamentally sound, the principle of winning games.
Yeah. Sophia, what do you think? Should we expect to make the playoffs, or do you think it's all over?
We're walking on a thin line there.
Okay.
For sure. It's definitely on the edge of we could potentially make playoffs, but also there's a big chance that we're not going to. I don't think we're gonna get it to be clinched, but I definitely think though, like overall, as a whole entire team, they have brought up some very strong players from the AHL.
Yeah.
Just how I know that they play, but the goalies.
Yeah, and it's the defense, and I think that all stems from Steve Yzerman. As you said, we're close. We're 3 games back, but we got some teams in front of us. Like Ottawa, Montreal, New York, both New York teams actually, and the Blue Jackets. We're kind of sitting in that threshold where I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I go into games expecting to be disappointed. Now, we had 2 7-game win streaks during the season. And
we have, yeah.
And it's one of my things is that, like, why does this collapse keep happening in March? We had it last season. Now we have it this year where it's just like we get to the end of the season. We're looking like we're going to make a wild card. We're looking like we're going to make the playoffs, end the drought, which is now 8 years running if we don't make it. What in your opinion, do you guys think is going to end this? And why do we keep having this, tail out like we do every year?
I definitely think there are probably a lot of injured players right now. Because, I mean, if they brought up that amount of AHL, and people are unhealthy, or they're like they're seeing that the light at the end of the tunnel. So
golf season.
They're exactly golf season. I think they're all kind of like the flames burning down a little bit, but also I don't think the Yzerman's plan is like Stevie's plan is working out that well. I mean, new coach, great move. Should have done that from the beginning.
Agree. Evan, what do you think about this?
I mean, what Sophie said, and also you've been saying all year. I mean, the big thing is, yes, goalie and defense can be a problem, but you also do realize you have arguably the best goalie prospect we've seen since at least Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
In Trey Augustine. I'm not too worried looking outside in about goalie and everything, because think about it this way. Your 2 goalies right now were both, free agent signings, but they're both placeholders.
And one was a trade that we got Peter Mrazek, who came in.
Correct.
He's doing all right.
He got injured, though, and that's my fear is that, like, you got Kosa, you got Lyon, and then you got Talbot, and then you got Mrazek, and a bunch of guys are
You're forgetting
injured.
Augustine, though, too.
Augustine is a sophomore in college.
Yeah,
correct. I'm just saying, you have the waiting of the Wings.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
I mean, what you want is you have Kosa for the future now, but then if Kosa, you have a wonderful Augustine waiting in the Wings. I think if you're the Wings, you have to just keep looking to, obviously, I think what they're trying to do is weed out all the older guys and slowly integrate the youth. I mean, we look at it with the teams that are doing really well right now this year. I mean, if I'm being
Winnipeg, for instance,
Winnipeg's not youth though. If I'm being the staple of youth, if I'm being honest, is Dallas.
Yeah.
There's not a single starter on that team for the first 3 lines that's under the age of 27.
But how long, in your opinion, since you're an outside source, how long should Sophia and I wait? Because I've been waiting since 2016 for this, man. I mean, like,
I think it's about to happen. I know you guys don't want it to wait longer, but I think you guys are almost there. I think it's just one more season away because we saw it.
The rebrand is very close.
It's not like you're gonna have to wait 2 more years. I think the fact you hired McLennan, I think that's one massive step for you guys.
Yeah.
Now it's just getting the buy-in of, obviously you'll have a full season with him next year, as opposed to 3/4 of the year or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right about
I
that.
think more or less you just got to hope and pray that you have a strong finish, strong draft, maybe a strong free agency, even though free agency class this year absolutely sucks. But just making sure that you do the necessary things you need to do.
Definitely. Now,
coming from the Wings or the Leafs fan, we're getting old up in their age too. But the thing is,
Matthews.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people are like Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin's the captain. No, he's from my hometown. There's nothing more than I want for Dylan Larkin to do great things in Detroit. I want him to bring the cup home. He lived on my lake growing up. Like, it's one of those things that it's just like, I love Detroit. I've loved Detroit since I was a little kid. I've been to 2 Stanley Cups, one where we won it, one where we lost, and I've been through the ups and downs of the early 2000s. And it's like, I see this team, and they don't have what it takes day in and day out. And I think some of it has to come with the accountability of Larkin. I think that he's not the guy. He's not the captain that will bring home the cup for Detroit. I think that's my biggest issue is that, yes, we have Trey Augustine in the system. He's in the rafters. He's waiting. He's a sophomore. He's doing great things at Michigan State. But one of my things is like, I just can't wait. And I think Dylan Larkin's not that guy. And I think, eventually a guy
then who is? Because I mean, a lot of the captains nowadays in most teams are bona fide guys that are untouchable, so to speak.
I definitely think they have curated a lot of the greats. I mean, they have Larkin, they have Kane, and they have DeBrincat.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, DeBrincat. Yeah.
DeBrincat.
Yeah.
They have those 3 solid guys. And what's his name? What's the Swedish one? Raymond.
Raymond. Yep.
Those 4, even though Raymond's young, they have 3 vets that are kind of like the dads.
Yeah.
So I think it's not just one person, it's all 3. And I think they, captain this, captain that. But they have 3 vets.
Yeah.
Very good and well-known vets.
Yeah.
So I think those 3, if they curate something.
Yeah, I have to fully agree with that. Now, an interesting quote that I found from our assistant captain, JT Comper, after the game last night, the Athletic quoted him saying, "It's about getting 2 points. Doing good things is not enough at this point. We need to find a way to win games." In the end, isn't that what truly all that matters to this team? They were the hottest team in hockey. We talked about that a little bit earlier. They have to make the playoffs, and they have to keep continuing. Like, it doesn't matter that they were the hottest team in hockey. If they drop off when the shit goes to get real, it doesn't matter in my mind. Now, however, we talk about successful teams like in the state of Michigan. We got like Michigan State, Michigan
best team in hockey right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking pretty good. You got Western Michigan, for instance. They're making a playoff run for the first time in their school history.
On their school history, they were good back in the early 2000s.
Well, this is the first time they won their division and got the.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because I'm like
Western.
Yeah,
Western's always been good.
I was gonna say they've been back in their glory years. I remember back when we were younger.
Yeah. Now, I guess my question to all of you is that we see an AHL team like the Griffins, and they consistently are doing good things, consistently making the playoffs, winning a AHL trophy every now and then, every other year. Why isn't that translating to the NHL? Why aren't these guys like, are we trading away all the good guys? What is going on?
Culture. We say it time and time again. You got to buy in. And I mean, the fact GR has that culture of toughness, we've seen year after year.
Like Strome, I think is pronounced his name. Yeah.
Who?
David Strome, the guy who's 32, who made it on the Wings just this season. He's been a lifer AHL. David Strome, I think his name is.
Maybe.
Oh, you mean Shine?
Shine, thank you.
I was gonna say, I'm like Dylan
Strome.
Dylan Strome's a winger for the Wild, buddy.
No.
Or
Dominic Shine?
Yeah, told you.
Dominic Shine. I was like, Strome, trying to go through my brain, like, oh,
I know,
everybody
Ryan
in the
Strome,
season. I was
Dylan
like,
Strome.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Strome was wasn't Strome a winger back in the early 90s during Chelly's days?
I think so.
Dominic Shine.
Yeah, when you said
He's-
you were AHLer for life, that's when I figured out who you were talking about.
Yeah, Shine. Okay, what about Shine?
I like the ferocity. I mean, we have no one on the team besides Soderblom who's kind of been up and down throughout the season, but mostly within the wings, he's been there. But like other than that, there's no real big physical guy that go out there and fight. That's why I kind of like the guy.
Yeah.
Bring fighting back to hockey.
Grand Rapids fights. Usually there's only a couple of them
Yeah.
that fight, but right now it's the ones that fight are up. They're
Yeah.
up in the NHL right now.
Which I like to see that veracity. I mean, I went to a Grand Rapids game first time for a fraternity event, and there was like 3 or 4 fights, including a fight after the end of the game because I think it was versus the Canadian team. They all knew each other. I think you were telling me that.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it was just chaotic as hell, and I love that type of hockey. Let's break down the barriers and let's start fighting.
Earlier this year, you said you don't want dirty fights. So are you
I don't want dirty players. Fighting is a part of the game. Fighting has always been a big thing
Culture.
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, let's get into that Grand Rapids culture. What have you seen out of Grand Rapids that kind of gives all of us who root for the Wings hope? What is your biggest? Who are your biggest players that can come up maybe in the spring, in the training next summer, and really make a splash in the NHL?
So there's definitely a lot of young guys. It's a very young AHL team.
That's good.
Which is very good, which means that their talent is still there. It's going. But I have like at least 10 players on here, and
Okay.
like I have like explanations for why each one is what it is.
Yeah.
So like first off, I will say Amadeus Lombardi.
Okay.
He just came off of injury a couple of maybe a month ago.
Okay.
He missed nearly 30 games.
Oh wow.
It
Okay.
was I don't know what the injury was, but it was he was injured and he was out for a while.
Okay.
So he just came off of injury, but it looks like he hasn't been injured at all just because
That's awesome.
I guess he did PT probably really well.
Yeah.
He fell exactly back into place being he's small. I think he's like 5'11".
Yeah.
But,
Wings
like,
have to brink it. So
Yeah, they do. But he's fast.
okay.
And it looked like he had never left the ice. Except though when he was injured and he was gone.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Okay. So he's a key player that we should
He's
look for.
A key player. He has a goal point of, that's how you say it, right? Goal
Yeah,
point.
goal
Yeah,
point,
yeah. Goal point of 35. He has 13 goals for this season. He would have more if he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
He has 14 assists and a total of 27 points for this 2024-2025 season, only with 8 PIMs.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. He's only played 35 games and scored 13 goals. I mean, that's something that, I mean, I know it's AHL and a lot of these guys are kind of like the up and coming players to the NHL, but it's very exciting to see. One of my things is I like to talk about defense because we need help in the defensive room.
He's a center.
Okay.
So
Is he a good two-way forward or what are we looking at here?
He's a good forward
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was drafted in 2022.
Okay.
Number
so-
4 pick. I mean, I've never seen a faster player who has such good control over
Okay.
a puck and can
Yeah.
set up a great assist for anyone to score a goal.
That's awesome.
Unless he makes the goal. But
Yeah.
he will definitely be one of the best players to get pulled up.
So you think it's a definite next year Lombardi's coming to Detroit?
I think he's only on his second or third year. He's either in his second year of being a rookie or his third.
Okay.
So, they play out that 3-year contract, I think.
Yeah.
So they're going to.
They'll see if he's on the verge of getting to that higher level. But I mean, yeah, that is something that, missing 30 games and having 27 points, that's nearly a point per game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
He's good. And also, he's already up in the NHL right now. Austin Watson, he's a forward.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a little older, but it literally does not stop him
Okay.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
He has a goal point of 56, 16 goals. 21 assists and with an overall 37 points.
I think that's games played. by the
Games
way.
played.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, yeah. 56, yeah.
I
16
don't
goals,
know.
21, yeah, 37 points. I mean, that's still a good number.
Goal point? I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn. We're gonna have to you're gonna have to edit that.
Yeah, no, for sure. We can get that. But no, he played 56 games, 16 goals on the season, 21 assists. He's got 37 points overall. What do you think of these two guys we just mentioned? They're both forwards. We're going to get into the defense a little later. I mean, you said defense and goalies is our biggest need in Detroit. What do you think about? You think these guys are trading places in the league, or do you think these are subsequent good second line, third line guys behind Kane, DeBrincat, and Larkin?
I mean, big picture is this: you can never have too much offense in the sense. I mean, you look at Toronto's lineup right now. You don't have, obviously you could do a Marner, Tavares, Matthews lineup if you really wanted to create the depth lineup.
Yeah.
But what Toronto does is you'll have Marner and Matthews line one, and then you've got the older, more seasoned vet and Tavares guiding line two. Because say one of them is in penalties or tired or gashed, you'll still have an offensive presence, someone who can dish the puck without taking a step back.
What do you think about that?
For what? Sorry.
So for these guys, you think having too much offense is a good thing for Detroit, or do you think coming up? Do you think we need to get rid of these guys and go more mainly defense and kind of pad the goalies out?
Well,
because
here's the thing: the defense that the Wings already have, they're tall Swedish men. They're long. They can reach. They Simon Edvinsson, for example, 6'6".
Yeah,
he has a wingspan unbelievably long.
And he's
beautiful.
been good defensively this season. And one of my things with him is that his puck control is something to be looked at. But
but he's young.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that I like to see. But then when he makes mistakes, it's go back to Grand Rapids and figure it out. But it's this team needs players. What about Shea Boyum? Yeah, what do you think of Shea?
So he's new.
Okay.
So I think he just graduated from college, but
Okay.
I think he played in Denver.
Okay.
And Denver last year for the Nationals.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
Yeah.
Boston, Denver, so on and so forth. They were all good schools. A lot of kids got recruited off of Denver.
Yeah.
So he's from Denver. He's
Okay.
first year pro, I believe. I think he might have played last year, actually.
Okay.
Sorry. So he has 2 goals, 21 assists, total of 23 points, and has 10 PIMs.
Yeah.
Unlike Watson, who has 94.
Okay. Yeah.
Watson's a fighter, guys, and he's new. He's new to the
system. Yeah.
the system for Red Wings.
Okay.
He used to play for the Nashville Predators, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
But for Shai, he's good. He was drafted in 2021, round 2, number 36.
Okay.
He's really good he's a really good defenseman.
Yeah.
He's
One of my
great.
things for defensemen obviously is net presence. Now, from what you've seen, does he defend what I think the Wings need is a guy who can stand in front of the net and just bully people besides the goaltender, because my thing is that the Wings net front presence when it comes to defense, even offense too, Soderblom is such a good player that he needs to stand more in front of the net, but he's so good at controlling the puck even with his long wingspan that I want him more on the outsides. Well, we got to find a guy on both ends of the ice that can bully people and kind of be that Tasmanian devil. And, if Austin Matthews is sitting right in front of the net with his stick down, it doesn't allow that to happen, because there's been multiple goals where it's been a tap in and, there's no fight from this team. And that's where Shine, that because he fights, he gets scrappy after the play. And I really like that. And because Peter Mrazek got, sideswiped a couple days ago, had concussion, went out of the game, and there was no pushback. And that's one of the things I need to see from the Wings is there's no they're
touch the goalie, you dead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do in Grand Rapids. You touch Kosa, you're done.
Yeah. And
You are done.
I think that's how it should be. We saw it with Michigan State when we went to that game. No one touches Augustine.
I would hope not.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things that, these are great forwards, but I really want to see more of a physical presence on defense. I don't think we have that right now.
Well, I would say if you want somebody with a physical defense for what you were just explaining, Sheldon Dries.
Okay.
He's been up and down, I believe, a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the type of guy where you touch the goalie, you're dead.
Okay.
Like, I mean, he has 20 goals, 11 assists, 31 points, but he is also very close to 30 PIMs.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to get when you get those physical guys. They're going to get the higher penalty minutes. And one of the things is that, like, if he's such a good defender, you can't have him get a penalty because the Wings have 27th, I think they're ranked in penalty kills right now. And their power play is one of the top in the league. So when you have that discrepancy, it's going to be a problem.
I will say, I'm going back to Watson just because Watson is the fighter on the team.
Okay.
Next to Shine when Shine comes down.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, Watson, we have a couple of younger guys on the team, and he's like, it's like father-son.
Okay, so
like,
he's a leader.
So there's a kid named Danielson.
Yes.
And he and Watson usually share the same line.
Okay.
And it's whenever, like, somebody tries to touch Danielson.
Yes.
Oh, Watson's coming for you full speed.
Okay.
No, like, why do you think he has 94?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's protecting people.
And he's a good defense, too, when he needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a forward, but, like, he comes back and he helps.
And that's what the Wings kind of need to kind of facilitate that the puck getting down the ice. Because I've seen many times where better teams, they have a really good forecheck where they lose the puck or have the puck, and they'll just keep the Wings in the zone. They can't get it out, and they have to dump it, and then they keep going back. So, I mean, I think that's very good for the future. I want to talk about some guys that are up right now with the Wings, like a Carter Mazur.
Carter Mazur?
Mazur.
Carter Mazur is not up with the Rings right now. He has an upper body injury.
Yeah.
Because when he debuted, he
got
hurt.
I saw the elbow issue.
He got hurt.
I was really hopeful for that kid to come up and make a splash. I mean, next season, obviously, right now he has 15 points total. He's only played 20 games. So he's a little bit injury prone.
So no, yeah, because I guess he played, if I'm thinking about it correctly, I think he played maybe 3 or 4 games in the beginning of the AHL season.
Okay,
and
wow.
he got hurt. So he was out for the longest time. And then he came back and he only played couple of games. He played a good amount of games to get to 8 goals, 7 assists, and 15 points and 8 PIMs. But like, he's also a fighter as well. Will say he is a fighter.
Yeah.
But he's injured. But he's good. He's very good. He has very good control over the puck. He's very defensive when it comes to his team. So he's and plus he's a Michigan-made man.
Yeah,
he's from Jackson, Michigan.
That's awesome. So where did he play for college then?
I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, that's could have went right to the league. That's a question that we could look up. But no, I mean, I think we have a lot of good players within the state of Michigan. That's proven with the National Development Program. Guys like Larkin, guys like I think DeBrincat is from this area. I think he originated in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. Or where's he from?
Farmington Hills.
Farmington Hills kid. Okay.
Farmington Hills.
Okay.
So we have a lot of good talent within the state of Michigan. My thing is that, like, can we get this team to where they need to be to that upper echelons, and how long is it going to take? Because we'll get the Trey Augustine conversation here in a minute.
Yeah.
But
Sarah played at Denver.
Okay.
Another Denver kid.
Another Denver kid.
Like I said, Denver.
Yeah.
Denver and Boston.
It's crazy. And then, I mean, you got even Michigan State thrown in this year. But, Sophia, out of all the players that we've kind of talked about, how long do you think it's going to take this team to get over this March slump before we can say, okay, this team's a legitimate playoff threat? They can win a few series. They can compete with a Toronto, a Florida, and a Tampa Bay.
Well,
bold statement. You ain't competing with us, buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
Quiet.
Yeah.
No. So I would believe it's kind of funny because I talk about the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So it's a very different. I talk about the Blackhawks on a different radio station. But
Definitely.
It's a very black to white thing of obviously everybody knows Blackhawks suck.
Yeah.
They're doing a rebuild.
Yeah.
Rebrand, rebuild. Whole nother story for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're talking about the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Love them. I definitely think it would be maybe 2 years.
Okay.
If I could give it the best bet, because you have to get some of these kids out of college, Red Savage.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's a senior this year.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna come to the Red Wings. I don't know.
Okay.
But
we'll see.
I know that he's I don't think he's under contract or anything.
Okay.
But, I remember reading about something somewhere where Red Savage was gonna go Red Wing.
Yeah. That would be kind of a fun thing to say.
No, I know because he has gone to camps, like summer
Yeah.
camps and such. So like, where else?
And
would they go?
Augustine's there too,
Yeah.
so it's like,
Where else
yeah.
would they go? But I definitely think once these rookies get out of college,
Okay.
I'd give it a year or two.
Yeah.
Because also Augustine's a sophomore.
Yeah,
His
definitely.
senior year, he can get pulled up, maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Augustine right now, with the way the trajectory of Michigan State's going, they're on spit and chicklets. They had beautiful facilities there at Michigan State.
Yeah.
I mean, subpar to none. It's beautiful. I never knew how nice they were. I was like, holy crap.
Back-to-back Big Ten champions.
That's what you get when you do that and all that NIL money. But my question for you guys is that how long should we be patient with Yzerman? Because obviously he's got
you two?
well, us too, but even you have to hear my bullshit every day.
I know.
So.
I could hear it all the time.
But what do you think, Sophia? How long should I stay patient, or should I be like, all right, fire him? It's been 7-8 years. Should I continue to wait, or should I just be like, fuck this guy? He's done. He's had his chance. Drafted some good guys, keep them in the program, and let's see what they do later on.
I definitely think, he made the right decision this year to fire the head coach and
Okay.
hire a new one.
Yeah.
I think everybody saw that one coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
And
who he picked up was great.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think maybe give him like I said, a year or two. Let's see
Okay.
what he does with the new coach, because after they got the new coach, they started playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something there.
If not Stevie, then who?
Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that if you're Detroit at this break, yes, you needed a goalie, but yes, you need defensive help, but also you need to be able to score on even strength. And that was one of my biggest things, is that we could never score on even strength. Power play was our only bet, and if we didn't get that, and if we didn't have a good game percentage-wise on the power play, we'd fail. And I wanted him to kind of go out and get a niche guy who could score the puck on the drive. Like, we were one of the worst teams when it comes to driving the puck in and scoring. Because, as you said, we want to overcomplicate things, east to west hockey. I like north and south, get pucks deep, have Soderblom go in there and dig it out and get it to Kane and Larkin. But that wasn't happening. And so getting Mrazek back, I love Peter Mrazek. I think he's a great goaltender. But one of my things is that we needed more. And I didn't like, yes, it was needed, but we needed more. And that's one of my things, is that Stevie sometimes gets rid of the players like a Jake Wallman. We needed Wallman. Like that, I don't know why we got rid of that.
But look at it this way: this year's free agency class, or the ones that were expiring deals, there wasn't much. It was not slim. It was slim pickings, honestly.
Yeah,
you really didn't have much. It was mainly a lot of goalies, and like with the exception of Miko, which no one saw him getting traded once again back to another team in midseason.
Yeah,
it was slim pickings. I mean, I think they stayed put because there really wasn't much there.
I mean,
for sure.
Speaking of like transferring goalies, trading goalies, they did trade Husso to Anaheim.
Yeah, for future stuff.
I think the Red Wings have made a lot of trades for future considerations.
Yes.
I think this, like, what, two times?
Yeah, And that's what scares me a little bit with this team, is that we're betting on the future with a team that we have Patrick Kane. He's getting older. DeBrincat's getting a little older. Larkin's getting older. And then we have Lucas Raymond, who's kind of like that young star that came up a few seasons ago. He's back-to-back 70-point seasons. Mm-hmm. He's one of the stars. I mean, hell, DeBrincat's on the verge of breaking a Marian Hossa's record back in 2008. I mean, it's just getting to a point where
youth is good. Because think about it this way. Coming from a Leafs fan, we came from absolute just sorrow for years and years and years. And then 2013 happens. We get Austin. The very next year, we get Marner. And finally, everything comes together. But no, we went through a period where literally it was every year was a head coach fired. I mean, look at last year. We made it to the second round. We still fired Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah. And that,
I mean, we made it to the second round and we're like, all right, Keith, go fucking suck some bricks. So all it matters is, like, honestly, you look at the Eagles right now. Why are the Eagles such a good football team right now?
Because they're youth. Because Cooper DeJean and all the youthful players.
What have they? If you call Howie Roseman, what would you call him? An absolute genius. Because
yes, but you say the same with Steve Yzerman. Sophia, what do you think about that? You think Yzerman's a genius when it comes to the youth of hockey?
I think there are a lot of good guys, if I remember correctly, from seeing just like the summer camp roster of like people playing on it. I know a few of them just from being friends, but
Yeah.
they have like the captain of Maine's college.
Yeah.
And they just won something, I forget.
And Maine's already top 4 right now in the league.
Maine's top 4, and so they have people from Michigan State, they have people from Maine, they have people from Denver, Boston. Like they have good people that were on the summer camp training. So it's like,
it's
see where it goes. I mean, they have so many young players in the AHL. So I think Yzer is doing a good job with that, picking out the younger guys, because these younger guys, if I look, I mean, looking at their stats, talking about their stats.
Yeah, we have a list of them.
There's like 5 more guys that I didn't get to talk about, but that's completely fine. But all of their stats are good, and because they're younger. Like I will bring up one guy. It's Nate Danielson. Like I said a little bit earlier.
I watched him through the early seasons, and he seems like a solid guy.
He's a center. He's new to the organization. He was drafted in 2023, round 1, number 9 overall. And he has 9 goals, 23 assists. And I mean, he also fights, so he has 33 PIMs. But
yeah, it's gonna happen. It's the AHL.
He's good.
Okay.
And he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Because he's new, obviously.
Yeah.
But he looks so promising on the ice. He's good. He gets there. Him and Lombardi have a good system when they're on the same line or whatever whatnot. But
well, Yzerplan, think about this one.
Not Lombardi, because Lombardi is a center now.
Yeah. But okay.
The Yzerplan, before he was with the Wings, took 10 years with one team. What team was that? Tampa.
Yeah, it did.
And now look at where Tampa is now. Progressing, they still are in contention even years after having him. With Tampa, it was all going through the draft, building through the Stamkos was built through the draft. He wasn't traded, but
That's what the Blackhawks are trying to do.
Yeah, with
he built through youth, because look at it this way. Like I was saying with the Eagles, they were like, "Oh, we just got the best player in the draft and he just fell to us." It's like they're finding the best players just because people are like, "Oh, I want that." People are doing position of need.
Yeah.
But if some guy, generation talent, just drops to you, you're just like, wow.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm here.
That's one of the things that it's like, all right, well, we seem to have that generation talent in the system right now with the guys you've mentioned.
I could name 7 young guys right now who are going to make like a splash for the next season of the Wings, or who are the future.
Well, then, so what we're gonna kind of go to the psyche of Steve Yzerman. What is he thinking right now? Why doesn't he bring them up right now? We need help.
Because with hockey, I mean, youth is great, but like you don't want to be inexperienced and undisciplined. You don't want to have a liability on the ice.
That's why last year they kept bringing Simon Everson up and down.
Okay, yeah,
because he was inexperienced.
Yeah, and you got to get him those games played, and I think that's smart. But like, you can make the same argument for next season. Oh, they don't perform in the preseason, and then it's, oh, well, we'll bring you up when we need you, and then it's like, oh shit, well, we don't need you, and then we get into these situations where, oh, we're in March and these guys haven't been up, and Stevie doesn't want to bring them up because of experience. I think bringing up now, where you're 3 games out, probably even more because of who's ahead of you. Why not bring them up? Why not just unload the AHL on the NHL?
Because their contracts won't allow
So
it. I don't think a lot of them are signed for a 2-way.
Okay.
Because they are still in their rookie contracts.
Okay. So
you gotta look at it that way. Just contracts and waivers and all the business behind it.
Yeah.
So there's that, but also just because then what's going to happen to our AHL team? And then what are we going to do? Bring up all the ECHL players?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I think the Toledo Walleye is what feeds into the Grand Rapids Griffins, by the way. But I think they're doing pretty good. They have a couple promising players, too, that we pull up from time to time when they pull up our players.
Yeah.
When Red Wings do. But, I mean...
You have a future that is very promising.
Yeah. And I will say, last year, the Griffins were not that good. And then until the end of the season is when they started to really pick it up.
Okay.
And then...
They made it a game away from making it to the conference finals last year.
Yeah, they did. So they picked it up.
I was there in Milwaukee. It was depressing, but no. I mean,
but this year they picked up right where they left off
and
from
that's
last year, and
great to see.
they were in the top spot for the longest time, and then like some people got hurt.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
things, casualties, whatever, whatnot, and now I think they're in the third in the division,
which is
good.
Yeah. The future, the
future
future
is
is
bright.
bright. Yes, and one of the bright spots I want to talk about. He's at Michigan State, best goalie in college hockey right now. What do you think, sitting from an AHL perspective, Sophia? Do you think he's going to be a day one fringe starter for the Wings, or do you think he's going to have a year of development in the AHL? Or, how long should I wait until we have the best goalie in hockey?
I mean, again, sophomore in college.
Yeah.
I don't think
He can't even drink alcohol yet.
Shoot, I don't think his parents nor his agent are going to let him go.
Make that jump. Okay.
Make that jump because
Yeah.
obviously kid needs a degree if he wants to get a degree. And
Yeah.
He's talked about it too. That he's staying for all 4.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
So we got 2 more years left.
you got 2 more
before-
years.
2 more years of him
He's-
turning into even better.
I think he will possibly. I mean, they'll have to look at training camp.
He's
and
got to get
everything.
bigger. I'll say that. He is a little small. He's a little on the small side.
And yeah, whatever. I mean, he's only a sophomore in college.
Yeah. He'll,
Like
Oh,
he's
of
gonna
course.
he's gonna
Yeah.
grow. He's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
he's just a
Nothing-
child. He's not 21 yet.
Yeah.
But he's definitely probably gonna stay a year in AHL.
Okay. So
I want to say just to
we
get
got
him,
3. Okay.
just to get him
Yeah.
like
And we got
Kosa.
Kosa, not
Kosa.
Huso. Huso left. Yeah, Kosa.
Usos look on.
Yeah. Oh, poor man.
I know, I
Seabass
feel
will
so bad.
be probably next year's backup.
Kosa.
I could,
Here's my thing. He's a great goalie,
Yeah.
good goalie,
Tall
really good, tall.
motherfucker.
But here's the thing: last time he got pulled up to the NHL,
Yeah.
and then he came back down, he kind of was being a little wishy-washy with
Okay.
his saves, or like,
yeah.
obviously there are some where it's like, you can't get that, you
Yeah.
can't save that. But like you notice that there was like
He saves the hard ones, but misses the easy ones. Is what I noticed a couple weeks ago.
so he's like kind of not deteriorating, but like he's slowing down a little bit, and
Yeah,
you
the
could
confidence
tell.
is going out the window.
Yeah, the ego's there. I mean, I would have an ego if I got pulled up and I played in a shootout. Like he
Yeah.
did good in the shootout.
He did.
And so it's just when he came back down, it was kind of like you can tell there was something a little bit different about it.
Yeah.
And he even some games they started other goalies,
Mm-hmm.
even when Costa was there. But like
Yeah.
he has good games, he has bad games. And right now it's just been mediocre. Like he was going in the beginning of the season, he was growing great, doing good.
Yeah.
Was saving basically everything. I mean, he's still trying to save everything, but you can
Yeah.
just tell that there is a lack of.
Yeah. And there's that experience that we talked about earlier that these guys need. It's just one of those things that I look at this team and I'm just disappointed because with the way they were looking at the beginning of the season, obviously what transpired in the first half, the second half's comeback, and then now we're in the same position. Todd McLennan saying they're playing good. We're just not getting the wins we need. And I think, going down the stretch here, you got Ottawa tonight. Then you have obviously a few tough games up in the stretch. I think, you finish the year.
Playing the bad boys of the North. Have fun.
God, I mean, that's going to be an interesting game. But you got Boston, you got Ottawa tonight, Boston, St. Louis. Those should be 2 wins. Carolina loss, Florida loss, Montreal.
St. Louis is going to be a.
St. Louis is a fringe
Yeah,
wild card
that-
team.
that-
I would not call it an even stretch.
That's why I said 1 win for the Wings going forward down the
You
stretch.
just said 2.
Well, no,
Well-
I 50-50. I was hoping. That's a hope. That's like I'm not
Okay.
putting my
Okay.
money on the
So Boston's your win.
Boston's my win.
Okay.
And
Really?
yeah,
I was gonna say Boston's no slouch either though.
I mean, yeah, Boston is no slouch. But
I mean, you don't have the rat anymore there, but
I mean, from what I know and from insider sources, just from me being me, and
yeah,
I have sources and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was like, they were like, yeah, I'm gone in like 3.5 weeks.
oh wow. So they're packing up, getting ready for golf season then.
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I think some of the players kind of have the mindset of, I'm gone in.
they're
We're gone
pulling
in
a pop
4
and go to
weeks.
Bahamas.
do that, man. Get
Couple-
some Mai
yeah.
Tais.
So I don't know. I don't know who said it, but like they were just like, oh, we're gone in 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
like, okay, that gives me hope.
Yeah, I mean, it gives me hope that there's going to be a real resurgence next season. Now, thinking about the future here, what do we expect? Obviously, the collective here, doesn't think they're going to make the playoffs. What's our expectation for next season? Is again playoff or bust, or what are we expecting? A big youth interjection, and we're going to have the same kind of turbulence we did in the first half. In the second half, we're going to bounce back. What do you guys think is going to happen next season?
I definitely think it's going to be pretty interesting with how good all the rookies or like the younger guys are this year in the Griffins. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to get pulled up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously some of these guys who have been injured a lot this past season, they're like Mazur, he's not going to get pulled up right away.
Okay.
I don't think. He's going to work his ass off to get back to where he was.
Especially with him being as injured as he was.
Yes. So I definitely think Mazur is going to get pulled up and down a couple of times for AHL, NHL.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think Shine is probably going to stay up there, maybe.
Good. We need physicality.
I think Watson just signed a contract for a two-year, for a while. Like, not a long time, but just a couple of years with the Wings. So
perfect.
I think they're going to keep Watson up. I definitely think they're going to pull up William Wallander, Cross Hannes, maybe. Lombardi soon.
Okay.
I definitely think Lombardi soon, but he's been injured.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to give some of these guys who are on the end side of their contracts.
Yeah.
So where it's like, oh, they could be pulled up. Like, you're kind of like not really a rookie anymore. You're like a junior.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think a lot of these guys are going to get pulled up to be tested.
Well, I'm excited for this. Let's see what they can do.
And I definitely think, because we have a lot of new guys, it's going to be interesting, especially because, too, for the draft. Like, the draft is what's going to take winner takes all. Yeah. Because, I mean, we already know there are going to be a certain amount of players that are going to be playing for the Red Wings, like if they're drafted.
Yeah.
I want to look up Red Savage real fast because
he's the captain for
for Michigan State.
Okay.
But he's also
21 Savage.
Yeah, so
that'd be pretty cool.
He's drafted by the Detroit Red Wings in 2021 NHL entry draft.
Okay.
And he also previously played for Miami.
Okay, so he's been around the block. So
I definitely think that he's going to. I mean, he's going to play in the AHL first.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Obviously, I mean, he's injured
currently.
I think he's not injured anymore. I don't know.
Evan, what do you got on the Michigan State side?
As of right now, just they're limiting his play.
Okay, so
just because obviously, I mean, if you want to make a deep run, you want to actually win the Frozen Four this year.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, him being a center, I mean, you also do have Isaac Howard, who just
and
unfortunately, it's not a Leafs prospect for you guys. Unfortunately,
great. Yeah, thank God.
But what do you mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, thank God he's not going to the Leafs.
No,
he's going to the Leafs.
No, he's a Lightning prospect, buddy.
Oh God, that's even worse. But yeah, no, I mean, I think
I'm saying for you guys, I would say this: the limiting of his play. The state team is so deep at the offensive position.
Definitely.
So if he isn't playing, I mean, yes, it's your captain, but you've also been able to go out with stretches without some of your best guys and had so many people take up the slack. I mean, Isaac Howard leading college hockey with points. I mean, I wouldn't see it coming.
I wouldn't either. I mean, the future seems like it's bright. Hopefully,
Yzerman. Very bright.
Hopefully, that's. I mean, knock on wood that's true. I mean, every single
I know
day
you're impatient, but
I'm very impatient.
You are.
Yeah. My thing is, I've been through a 25-year playoff streak. The end of it, the bitter end. But
I mean, you got to look at it though. If you look at it from any perspective, you got to look at it from a Blackhawks perspective.
All right, the Blackhawks are
they were good. They used to be good.
Yeah,
I was gonna say you can talk about mine. I haven't won a cup since '49.
Yeah.
Come on.
Back when World War II was a thing is the last time I've won a cup.
Yeah.
You can say you've at least won it during any of us being alive.
True, we've won two.
I definitely think they're rebuilding very well. I mean, they snatched Kane the moment they could.
Hockey rebuilds take forever. They always will.
That was probably one of the best snatches on planet Earth.
Yeah. And he's been very good for Detroit.
Are you kidding? And it also brings so much to the fan base as well.
Yeah.
I mean, also, the fans are doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, and they're sitting there hoping their team wins day in and day out. I'm just impatient because I've seen the bright spots, I've seen the low spots, and this is probably one of the lowest spots ever. I made a take earlier in the year that the Pistons would be the standout team in Detroit, and
Well,
we're
Tigers.
sitting here. Well,
It's opening day. You got to give them a
be
little.
foreseen. Be foreseen.
Gonna say.
The
Brand new
Tigers
season.
were really good last season.
We'll see this year. They have a lot of question marks, but we'll get into that in the later episodes. But as far as wing talks goes, I think the future is bright. I think we discussed that. We got some great prospects. I want to thank Sophia for coming in today, making the
Yeah, no
drive down
problem.
from Grand Rapids, and hopefully have you on the show again in the future. Definitely. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy this Wing Talks episode. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the Wings' future. What do you think about their playoff hopes this season? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for listening.